Got 7:30, we call the meeting. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Mr. Bradley. Ms. Thomas. Mr. Hardy. Here. Mr. McGuire.
Here.
Mr. Thorne.
Here.
Ms. Bowe.
Here.
We have got 4 out of the 6 trustees. We've got a quorum. We've got a meeting. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of September 3rd, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Thorne, seconded by Harney to approve the minutes of September 3rd, 2024. Are there any corrections? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion so carries. Thank you all. Okay, excuse me. Moving to item 5, President's Report. First item is the civility pledge, and I don't know where we left off on the roundabout on this thing, so I will take it this evening. The civility pledge. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. Okay. Next item for me is a special shout out to longtime resident Lori Pepper of Stevens Court. She recently donated 2 trees to the village of Sleepy Hollow, purchased the Armstrong Gold Maple Leaf that she has picked out for the village, and they will go back in the dividing area, I believe, on that island on Stevens Court.
First island on Stevens Court, and then third island on Stevens Court.
I know they're not oaks, but they are vegetation, replace what we've lost back in there.
The thought is that they grow tall, they don't expand out into the ground, so that was the thought.
Really, really pretty orange in the fall.
Okay. Well, thank you, Lori Pepper. Appreciate it. Next item is a reminder that the code of conduct should be initialed or signed and returned to the clerk today. We'll take a tally of that tomorrow. The next item I've got is ordinance 2024-10, an ordinance amending the alcoholic liquor regulations governing a license for a special event within the village of Sleepy Hollow. If I could have a motion so approved. Ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Thorne, seconded by Bowe to approve ordinance 2024-10. Ordinance amending the alcohol liquor license. What it's doing is giving us another permit. Right now, our license on a special event is for a beer and wine only situation. We were approached earlier this year by an establishment within the village that would like to serve frozen margaritas at the 4th of July and the Halloween. However, the hard alcohol is not part of the special event permit. By adopting ordinance 2024-10 tonight, we are establishing a second license permit for special event that would allow the sale of alcoholic liquors, i.e. margaritas. When you read the ordinance, it says only pre-mixed frozen style drinks. There will be no open bottle over the counter by the shots being allowed. It will have to be in one of those pre-made machines so that they are monitored on that. There's a number of items that have gone in the ordinance. They need to submit a plan in advance for the ID of the people that are using it. They need to provide security information, and it's all in the permit, and it all gets turned into the chief, and the police will review it and we'll move on. So that's where we're going with 24-10. And class E1 is the one that is the standard. beer and wine only. Class 2 now will be the alcoholic liquors. What we've got in here right now is $50 per day. It's a 3-day permit. Okay. For beer and wine, and we've got $100 per day for the hard alcohol license. So these licenses are good for 3 days. It'd be $150 for beer and wine. It'd be $300 for the hard alcohol situation. Any questions or comments on this? No comments, questions on it? Then being an ordinance, I'll ask for a roll call, please. Mr. Hardy.
Aye.
Ms. McGuire.
Aye.
Mr. Thorne.
Aye.
Ms. Bo.
Aye.
4 affirmative votes, so it's 5 to 4, so it passes. Thank you all. We need to spread the word up the street on that then.
Yep.
All right, that's it for the president's report, clerk's report, no report tonight. Planning and zoning, no report from them this evening. Attorney, there is no report from the attorney this evening. Engineer. The engineer did send a status report with the packet. And he did send an update this morning or late this afternoon. I believe things are going along up there. The concrete swales have been removed. They're putting in new storm sewers. And they hope to have that all finished up tomorrow and start framing in for the concrete work. And then the concrete work will be done on Wednesday. And shortly after that concrete work is cured, then they'll be back in to remove the old road and restore it with a new one. So the completion date is the 27th of September. And since we have no rain forecast for another 8 days, they just might get it done on time. Any questions for the engineers? No, okay, thank you all. The next item will be the Director of Finance, Mr. Manning.
A request a motion for the approval of the warrants in the amount of $127,994.10.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Thorne, seconded by Hardy to approve the warrants for December 16, 2024, in the amount of $127,994.10. Any additions, deletions, comments, or questions? There being none, roll call please. Ms. Bo.
Aye.
Mr. Hardy.
Aye.
Mr. Thorne.
Aye.
Ms. McGuire.
Aye.
4 affirmative votes, no negative votes, nothing so carries. Law.
I just want to make mention that we've gotten several complaints about late water bills. Sometimes the bills are arriving after the due date. And where it's very frustrating on our part. I did post it on the website. And you know, if they don't receive the bill by, say, the 15th of the month, that they should just give us a call. We have no control over it. This is all the post office. On the billing date, it's mailed out by a third party. We pay the postage on it, and it's shipped right to the distribution center. And so it's 100% on the Dundee post office. That's all I got.
Can I just add to that? I was gonna address that in my water report, but can I just?
Sure.
So with what Eugene was saying, we did reach out and speak to some of the residents who were rightfully upset that they hadn't gotten a bill. I spoke with Wendy, who covers a lot of our water billing, and she's been doing this for about 12 years, because I wanted to see what we typically do with that. And she did point out, and I saw it on my own water bill, that on the back, it does indicate, which is typical for a lot of utilities, that it is on the residents' responsibility to ensure that they get the bill. If they haven't received a bill, to reach out and see about it. I get that sometimes we don't think that, and it's unfortunate, but unfortunately, in these times when there may be a drop off with the post office, if we were to forgive or waive all of those late fees, I'm concerned about setting a precedent with that, because sometimes it could be upwards of hundreds of dollars, depending on if a whole swath is missed in the village. But I'm really pleased with how Eugene and Sharon and everybody handled it. Some residents were very upset. I think Sharon handled it wonderfully professionally. And she did what she was supposed to, and she contacted the post office after the second person notified her. and said, okay, we've got a problem, these are the streets, and then she just kept letting them know what streets there were problems, and I think the line of communication, and it turned out to be about 7 residents this time. So, yeah, we've contacted them, everybody's paid their bills, and I think there's 2 that we're still gonna talk to, but yeah, it all resolved itself, but please let us know if you don't get a bill. I know my mother sets her alarm on her phone for the 8th or 10th every month. Look for it, just because otherwise she'll lose it in her pile of papers. So, thank you.
And I just mentioned also that at the due date,
Mhm.
it's due at 3:30 on the due date. If you make that electronic payment at 3:31, it's late. Okay, we have to be fair with the electronic payments, just like if we were walking to the red box. That's it.
Since we're on that subject. I don't know, but should we start considering putting a camera for security of staff in the lobby?
I,
I mean, part of what I understand with this late fee bit, and the late water bill, was residents taking it out on the staff.
Yeah.
And that is just totally inappropriate.
it is,
But I'm concerned about leaving staff here
Yeah.
vulnerable to that type of situation. And I'm thinking that maybe we should put a camera and video out there in the lobby and record it. Just for security of our staff. When Sharon called me, she was not in a happy place.
no, she
I mean,
it
she
really
handled
rattled
it
her.
very well. But when I hear that we've got residents coming in saying those kind of things to our staff and then walking out on it.
And I would like to say that one thing she said is that she's actually spoken to this resident once before for another water issue that was even kind of a bit of an inconvenience, and he was pleasant and fine. So she did say, like, it might have been that he's just been we've all had bad days and you snapped.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was excessive, but I appreciate that she had a good perspective on it.
Let's just think about that.
Yeah.
We just might
Maybe
just-
talk to Sharon and Becky and see what they think too.
And I do have some extra camera
Just fine.
actually they're in my office, so the ones that we have outside, the ones that we have in our lockup area, so. Wouldn't be a problem,
Okay. Good. May not even be a budget.
just installation.
Just an installation.
Get that added to the system.
Does our staff want to be on camera all day?
Well, we
It's
want
not
the
the
that.
camera. It's gonna be the lobby.
It's the
It's in
lobby.
the lobby, people coming in. It's not the staff that's giving staff problems. It's residents giving staff.
What is it pointing at the door,
Well,
the desk?
It'd be pointing at
The lobby.
like a lobby area.
Put it up in the corner so anybody coming in the door up to the desk will be videoed.
And we can put signage as well, announcing it, that as you're coming in, your video surveillance, it's best to do that anyway.
Right.
In my mind, she comes out.
I felt for Sharon that afternoon.
I got her brownies.
And a lot of times, if I do hear somebody raising their voice out there, I tend to walk out of my office as well. Whether you do it with
Yeah, and I
Becky
tell you,
or
but
Sharon.
we can't always depend on, you get a
Very true.
phone call for service, you're gone.
Right.
So, it's, staff's concern, safety and welfare is concerned.
Absolutely.
Okey doke, this all started with water bills?
Yep.
Okay, anything else? All right, thank you, Eugene. Comments from the public? None? Okay, move into trustee reports. Roads and parks, Mr. Harney.
Nothing new to report. Mr. President covered the update from the village engineer. So the only questions I'm getting is when crane will be done. And it was mentioned hopefully by the 27th.
Okay.
At least that's the target date.
And the gentleman's name was Jeff Steele that gave me that. date.
Okay. Nothing else to report.
All right, thank you, Ed. Finance, Mr. Thorne.
Yeah, we had a finance committee meeting last week and actually got quite a few things done, and I'll turn things over to Mr. Dan to go into that.
The finance committee was tasked with looking at a recommendation to adopt the non-home rule local sales tax ordinance. we have a very small opportunity to fund village operations with the small business sector that we have. We're only allowed to tax up to 1%. This is something new that we can do without a referendum. And it was the recommendation of the finance committee to seek the full 1%. The discussion then was is to implement the, how do we implement it? And it can only be in quarter percent increments, but it's my understanding that we can actually just do the whole full 1% at one time.
Yeah.
Now, this would not take effect until January 1st, 2026, but we have to have this approved pretty much by, I think it's April of 2025 in order to get it on the books and everything taken care of so that we'd be able to start electing. So with that, would we want to move forward then with approving the an ordinance to implement this tax at this time, or do we want to wait?
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So I came to the meeting and I don't have those notes with me, but I thought that the 1/4% increments went up annually and then maxed out at a full, but we can do it all in 1 year.
That's what we're kind of learning now.
Okay,
And we were looking at the form and it says choose one.
okay.
5%, 50%, 75%, or 1%.
Would going straight to 1% be too aggressive for our residents?
This is a sales tax on
Oh, just over there.
the strip
Yeah.
mall.
Okay,
This is not a property tax at all.
okay,
This
that's
is
right.
a
So-
user fee.
So your
Would that be on
$4
food
cup
too?
of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts will be $4.03 plus, whatever the other.
Wait,
tax
so,
is.
so food or not food?
Prepared food like Dunkin' Donuts where you go through the
Right,
window,
service.
but I don't think it will go to Salsa Street or.
Pizza.
Yeah. the-
And then anything on the gambling place?
No, that would not be, the auto parts store,
That's about it.
yeah, was it the nail salon or whatever, if she sells a product?
Martial art guy has
T-shirts.
T-shirts and
The-
outfits that he sells, yeah.
We don't have, there, like I said, there's not a lot, but this might, bring in, a couple $1,000s a year.
If you look at the budget, you'll see sales tax, and then below it, you'll see an NHMR, non-home rule.
Okay,
That's our share. And it's only, what, 0.5%?
Something like that, so it's.
If you look at the sales tax, Sleepy Hollow sales tax is 7.5%.
Mhm.
West Dundee, Carpentersville, Algonquin are 9.5 and better.
So if they were to use our auto parts store versus the one down the street in Carpentersville, they would still be beating the sales tax.
Yep,
It'd still be a good 1% to 1.5% below. Elgin is up, they're up at 8.5 and 9% themselves, so. And we'd still be the lowest sales tax place in town. Since we're missing 2 trustees, you wanna hold and have the vote when they get here, so they know what, we're talking about?
I say we wait for 3 weeks.
So we're a little ahead of the game, but as Eugene pointed out, we've got to have the ordinance in place at least a year in advance. So with January 1st, 2026 coming around the corner. As we sit here in 2024. Okay, let's put that in, for October, what is it, 7th?
and then the second recommendation from the finance committee is the tax levy is coming up. We are a T-TEL community, which means that there's a limitation on what we can increase the tax levy to either the cost of living or 5%, whichever is lower. Surprise, surprise for this is the first time in the last 3 years that we're actually below the 5%. So it's only 3.4%. So the recommendation from the finance committee is to seek the full 3.4%. The problem is that if we don't seek the full amount, this is something that affects the village for eternity. Because the tax is cumulative. So if we don't take that full amount this time, we'll always be short for the, you know, from now on. Because even if we tax it the full amount in the future years, we'll still be short this amount. And
Is
we're-
this different than the 5% that we just did? Or is this the same thing,
this
but
is the
it's
same-
lower
It's
now?
lower, right,
Okay,
yeah,
Last year, we had 5%.
right. Last year we lost because it was like, it's like
7.1 or something.
yeah, so we lost like 2.5%. To the cost of living. But this year, we can at least, you know, stay even with the cost of living.
Yeah, motion to
Seek those the full
seek the full.
3.4%.
I move to seek the 3.4% increase.
Second.
Moved by Bo, seconded by Thorne to seek the 3.4% increase in the 2024 tax levy. Any other comments, questions, or discussion? Okay, roll call please.
Mr. Harding.
Aye.
Ms. McGuire.
no,
Mr. Thorne.
Aye.
Ms. Bo.
Aye.
3-1, the village president votes aye, puts it 4-1. Recommendation passes.
I'm gonna start working on a tax levy, but it's dependent on the King County assessment. So we're still waiting for those figures to come.
And we'll be ready for the
Hopefully. Actually, we have to have the tax levy in by the last Tuesday in December.
And sometime in November, we have to announce the amount that we're seeking.
Exactly, yeah, I'm hoping to be very proactive in this, and as soon as I can get the EAV, I will, when I have it announced.
Okay,
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Eugene. Mark?
That's all I got?
Yeah, okay, thank you, Mark. Water and sewer, Bo.
Hi, friends. Sorry, bear with me. I have a few things to say tonight, but I have a list, so I'll stay on task. First off, I just want to say Jenny and I participated in a dunk tank this weekend and had a wonderful time. Minimal water was wasted in the event because we sat in dirty water the whole day.
Oh.
But it was a lot of fun. Lots of kids enjoyed it. And I just encourage you guys to come out again. It's just donations to try and dunk us. And it was really fun. I actually got to meet a few residents through this. So I dragged them in through Facebook.
donations go to the D300.
Oh, yeah, and the donations are going to District 300 Food Pantry. So water is my topic, and aside from our county, I've met a guy named Scott Kuykendall, who is the Water Resources Director up in McHenry County. I met him through the Friends of the Fox, some of the stuff I was teaching, and what I really enjoyed meeting or learning from him was that McHenry County supplies all of their water through their aqueducts and aquifer, whereas we get our water through the Fox River. He has a program set up and he was trying to teach me about the effects of everything that's going on our surface, how it goes down to the groundwater, how it affects water that we're then consuming and we have to treat, and costs and where it all comes from. And essentially, I want to let you guys know that there is an annual event. It's coming up this Wednesday. It's free, it's catered, it's delicious. It is up in McHenry, but we share a lot of similar landscaping with them. We had some really unique glacial movements in our area that changed the water. You got to go listen to this guy. He has a presentation online, but if you're interested, Wednesday night from 5:30 to 8:30, it's McHenry Community College. It's in their auditorium. It's for public officials, it's for residents, it's for anybody who has any curiosity. And this year, what they're talking about is stormwater, which is something that we're really facing from Randall. And they're gonna be talking about water quality, flooding, land use, and resiliency. So I'm gonna go and attend it, touch base with Scott again, get some more information and keep learning about water. Also, along the terms of water, we have the Carpentersville Dam. They just had instead of a ribbon cutting, they did a ribbon tying to reunite the two sides of the river together. And that was, I think, September 5th. Gary Swick was out there, Chris Kyos was out there, a lot of our county board reps are out there. I unfortunately missed the date, I was so sad. But they had a wonderful time, and you can start to see the progress go down. There should be a website coming up eventually where you can keep track of the progress. It's a $1.2 million project that's being funded by the Illinois DNR as well as the Army Corps of Engineers. And it should be done by the end of November. We've been waiting about 10 years to finally start chipping away at the dam since they approved the movement in 2014. And lastly, this coming weekend is called I Offered. It's called It's Our Fox River Day, and that's also put on by Friends of the Fox. And what I'd like to encourage people to remember is, although the Fox River does not come through Sleepy Hollow, we have Jelky Creek and we have our little lakes. All of that feeds down towards Bonkoski and empties right out into the Fox River. So we may not have direct access, but we directly access and feed into the Fox River. It's important for us to know that when we're kind of considering what we put into our grounds and what goes downhill. I think Ann and Jenny living down in the village are very familiar with all the water that kind of accumulates. So in that note, on It's Our Fox River Day, we like to give back to the river. It's an effort to have people along all 200 miles of the river get back. And this Saturday, there's opportunities at Dixie Creek. You can go and help clear up invasive species. There's a stand-up paddleboard event on the Fox River. There's a river cleanup over at Auto Engineering with Chris Kyos. There's a tiny trash cleanup with one of our Sleepy Hollow residents, Karen Flowers, over at the Lutheran Church Saturday morning. And then there's others. So if you are interested, please check out Friends of the Fox River website, look it up. I mean, there's even things in Elgin, there's yoga, there's face painting. You can find activities all up and down the Fox River on Saturday. So I'd invite you to check it out and just be grateful for this pretty cool thing that we have running through our village. And that is all.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you, Courtney.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, this is a little off topic, but in going and signing up for the dunk tank, I met one of our residents on Joy Lane. And she and I got a chance to talk, and I had a meeting today with the chief about some extra traffic that we're having on Joy Lane. So I'm gonna go out to Joy and Hilltop and talk with a few more residents and just get some impressions, because I walk it every day with the dogs and the traffic is picking up, and there's some blind curves, and we're just looking at if there's anything we can do to help mitigate some of that, whether it's speed bumps or signs or police presence. And yeah, so we're discussing that. That's all now.
We could
Thanks.
close Randall Road.
We could, yeah. I'll have Ed address that one for you.
Good plan.
Just cut it off. Up there about 72, down about Big Timber. Okay, that's it, Courtney?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Police and public safety. Gatley is not here.
I sent out a pretty decent amount of reading material. I apologize for that. But I'm trying to fill in as much information as I possibly can regarding the potential block camera system. Any questions that anybody has about any information that I sent out, feel free to reach out, meet with me, down talk. I have no problem talking to anybody about it, so.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
So a police officer that, not Sleepy Hollow police officer, but a police officer that lives here in the village came to me and said that he showed me that he has access to cameras in Colorado and Texas and all sorts of states all over. He has access to their neighborhood cameras. And he had mentioned that he doesn't feel comfortable leaving his wife and children home, knowing all these people all over the country have access to these cameras. But when we talked to the guy online, he said that wasn't the case. But he showed me on his app on his phone that the access that he has.
Have him come talk to me and I'll see because there's different agreements that different villages can have in terms of access to other people's information and how much we control our information. So we will control our data. So
Okay.
we can control who has access to our information. And I think that's where sometimes people get a little far afield in terms of what they allow.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Have them come talk to me.
Well, thank you.
Okay, any other questions for the chief? If not, next item is public building and environment. Fine.
No report.
Okay, building and zoning. Thomas is absent this evening. No report from there. We'll move on to old business. Business to come before the board. Business, new business, Knights of Columbus, request to conduct their annual fund drive. The weekend of September 27th and September 28th. We're getting into December, let's talk about January. So we have a motion to approve the Columbus, Knights of Columbus request for fundraiser at Sleepy Hollow in Bonkowski.
So moved.
Sleepy Hollow and Thoroughbred.
Thoroughbred.
Right, yeah.
Bonkowski.
So moved.
And are they doing Willow and Locust this year?
All they requested,
All they
right out there,
requested.
yeah, this intersection.
So we have a motion to so authorize with the
So moved. Second.
moved by McGuire, seconded by Bo to authorize the Knights of Columbus to conduct their fundraising drive at the intersection of Sleepy Hollow Road and Thoroughbred in Broad Rummel on the 27th and 28th of September. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion so carries. Okay, next item is a seal coating bid for the Village Hall, Police Department and the public parking lots. Nothing about Public Works area?
I think the guy to the right of you. screwed that up,
Okay.
but yes, Public Works parking lot there.
All right,
So I put the bid I selected that I think is best for the work done. I'd like to thank Bill, because Bill really headed this out for me. We actually got 4 bids, one withdrew because they weren't prevailing wage. Of the 3 bids I got, this one isn't the cheapest. It's about $2,000 more than the lowest bid, but I feel like the work that they're gonna do is what we need. It's been probably 10+ years since we've had the parking lot seal coated, minus getting this parking lot repaved out front here. So the bid is $10,150. That's what I'm seeking board approval for.
$10,150. Motion to so approved.
I move.
Second.
Moved by Bo, seconded by Harney to authorize the expenditure of $10,150 on a resealing of the village parking lots. Does that include striping?
That includes striping, crack filling with hot rubberized crack sealer. They put like a oil stain additive down too to prevent oil stains and stuff like that. The proposal they gave me is really thorough, so I think they'll do a really good job.
All in one time, or are they gonna?
It'll be over 2-day period. I don't know what day they can come in. We haven't really talked about that until you guys approve it. But I'm gonna shoot for them. Hopefully they can come in on Friday, do the village hall or our side, and then come in Saturday, do the rest of the parking.
So no parking on one half.
There will be no parking, you know, whatever side they decide to start on, there's no parking on that for the day. It's a 24-hour dry time and then flip it, yeah.
They could work Saturday and Sunday if needed.
I don't know if they'll do Sunday, but
The thing specifically said weekdays.
it doesn't say weekdays, but I think they'll work with us for Saturday just because we're a municipality and we got the police department here, which is 24 hours a day, so. But we'll talk, I can discuss that with them later.
Were some of the other bids, was the difference just, it wasn't as thorough and so there wasn't as much information about where the money was
Yeah,
going?
so like here's one,
Oh.
yeah, and then the other one, their bid was $20,000, so that
Oh,
was,
okay.
yeah.
So an 8,000, a 10,000 and a 20.
Mhm.
Yeah, no. that
And
makes
one
sense.
withdrawal.
And one withdrawal, yeah, he was like 3,000. And then. Like, did you accommodate for prevailing wage?
Oh, that wage.
I withdraw my.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
and it says a 1-year warranty, is that typical?
I don't know, on cracks, on seal coating, I don't know, usually people do it every year, so I don't know if anyone actually goes and says, hey, I want this is void warranty, so.
As long as it doesn't wash off with the rain.
I think a part of the warranty that would be voided is if we use plows. To be honest with you. I'm sure
Probably a
they,
good thing to find out.
yeah,
Okay, any other comments or questions concerning the bid for seal coating? There being no other comments or questions, roll call please.
Mr. Harney.
Aye.
Ms. Fryer.
Aye.
Mr. Thorne.
Aye.
Ms. Bo.
Aye.
All affirmative votes, no negative votes, the motion so carries. Thank you all. Anything else, Kyle? That it?
I wanna address, all the fire hydrants got installed. And for the people that are living by them, don't think that we forgot about coming back in with topsoil and grass seed. I need it to rain for the ground to settle. I don't wanna have to come in twice to clean it up. So please be patient when we get rain. Soil around the hydrant will settle and we will come back, topsoil, grass seed, and shoveling there.
Okay. All right.
And then last thing, tomorrow, we are gonna start to dismantle the Saddle Club playground. So,
On fire hydrants, I had a resident ask me if they can paint the fire hydrants themselves.
yes. But it's red,
But it has to be red.
yeah.
Okay.
If people wanna paint fire hydrants, by all means, I'm all for it. It will save us a lot of time and effort and. Like I went out to see if we could get it out to bid it, like I saw Carpentersville had a professional company and. They want anywhere from 110 to 190 per hydrant. So if for us to do that, it would be about $90,000.
Sounds like a good Boy Scout project.
In the past, we've had crews of resident teenagers paint them.
I did have seasonals do it one summer about 6 years ago. They got 90% of the hydrants. The problem is if you don't sandblast them and you just paint them with a brush, they turn to pink. They all have this pink color to them. And I spent a lot of money on paint. We got the paint recommended to us from the hydrant company. It was a Sherman-Williams paint. So, but if a resident wants to paint their hydrants, please feel free to do so.
Can we adopt one?
Sure. That's up to you guys. You guys can.
Well,
settle
there's a
that.
half a dozen of them along Sabatino Park and down along.
We should do adopt a hydrant.
Hmm?
Maybe we should do adopt a hydrant. That's kind of funny. I don't know,
Then we
think on this.
And we could paint them to look like little people. We could have little androids.
Maybe we should check with the fire department first.
Stop to stick with red.
But
No, let's have a flock of minions.
The yellow ones with the overalls.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Not quite yet. Just, okay, just a general information for everybody. I was asked to bring up, if you haven't heard about it, there's a Kane County Forest Preserve referendum coming up on the ballot. In a couple of years, the bond referendum that was passed by the voters will be paid up and everyone will see $140 tax decrease on your bill. What the Forest Preserve is asking we'll base this on a house that costs $350,000. For $3 a month, if the voters approve it, they will be able to buy 125 acres a year. That can be cumulative. If they don't buy it 1 year, it'll be increased to the next year. And they're concentrating on the communities up and down the Fox River. So you'll see more information coming out for second.
Oh,
Moved and seconded to adjourn. No, we don't debate that, do we? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? We are adjourned.
I didn't hear that. Yeah.